And what is going on, everyone? And welcome to another special edition of Houston Texans football on the Bleacher Report Network. I am one part of your show, Ruben Calvilla, dropping daily Houston Texans content on my YouTube channel, 713 Houston Sportcast. My co-host Harley, Texans all day as well, but also sprinkles in some Astros, some Rockets at the lead underscore Houston. How's it going, brother?
Doing well, man. Super appreciative of anybody that hopped into the live stream
Mhm.
yesterday. I had, uh, oh man, I'm blinking on his name now. Wow.
Jonathan
Actually,
Alexander?
there we go. Man, I blinked on everything there. Houston Chronicles staff writer Jonathan Alexander, and also the Texans writer. He was fantastic last night. So if anybody missed that, go ahead and check it out on under the live stream tab of the Lead Houston YouTube channel. He dropped some really good insight on the team and everything. So yeah.
And as we move on to this episode, we want to shout out Bleach for allowing us to come on here talk Houston Texans football. Always a shout out to the man upstairs. Happy birthday to Derek Stingley, number 24, turns 24. Harley, he arguably might be the best cornerback in the NFL. I know some fans in Denver feel some way about their cornerback, Patrick Surtain. Derek Stingley, I think, is going to be one of the reasons why this Houston Texans defense is one of the best in the NFL. We talked about how last week the secondary is going to be fantastic with the Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens, adding free agent cornerback Jair Alexander. This conversation about who has the best secondary in the NFL has come to fruition. Well, let me put in the case for the Houston Texans secondary. I'll start with the corners. Harley could finish it off with the safeties. But the Houston Texans have the best secondary in the NFL because they got arguably the best cornerback in the NFL. Derek Stingley, the highest paid cornerback in the NFL, all pro Derek Stingley. And we all knew it was never a matter of talent. It was a matter of can he be healthy? He's healthy, all pro season. He's one of the best in the NFL. Your cornerback number two, Kamari Lasser. And what did he do in year one, Harley? Only just locked people down. Three interceptions on the year. If you're a PFF stand, a coverage grade in the 70s. No one expected this from Kamari Lasser. They were worried about his slow 40 time. But Harley, these two cornerbacks are one of the reasons why I think this secondary is elite. How do you feel about the safeties?
Yeah, I mean, you got to be very confident about this safety group as well, too. Not only did Jalen Petrie shine in his new role last year on this defense, despite the injury, he's coming back at 100% this year, and he's already out there at OTAs, mandatory minicamp, and as you know, Psycho Cinco Jalen Petrie is going to be able to be doing his thing all over the field, whatever he's
Did you just
saying,
come up with
whatever.
that?
Oh, for sure. I shouldn't have said it because I got a
Okay.
merch
Okay.
idea around
Okay.
it,
Okay. Okay. Never mind.
but it's all
Hey,
good. It's all
that
good.
hey, that's
It's all
tough.
good. We let a little cat out the bag there.
Psycho Cinco. Okay.
You mentioned a you mentioned a rookie in the cornerback positions. I'll mention a rookie in the safety group in Kalen Bullock and a young kid actually, because he is still super young and he was super raw last year. Wasn't sure what to expect from Kalen Bullock. Initially, when they did draft him, you're looking at a guy that made plays at USC, but needed to improve in terms of his tackling ability. Here with the Houston Texans, that playmaking ability shined from week one all the way on
Mm.
forward. Now, he still made some rookie mistakes, but I'll take 5 interceptions and needing to work out some of the kinks and some of the stuff that he needs to do this offseason. Now, a full offseason under his belt. You got him and you got Jalen Petrie, and then you cannot longer get more and more excited about the newest addition for the Houston Texans. Trading away Kenyon Green, you get away some actual trash, not no Christian Kirk trash. This is actual trash that you are giving to the Philadelphia Eagles, and for some reason they handed you a pot of gold back in return. And this pot of gold is, I don't know, just some guy named CJ Gardner Johnson,
Mm.
just some guy in 28 games as an Eagle. He had 12 interceptions. So just a guy that just brought a Super Bowl to Philly, and a guy that the city themselves are still crying about that trade and him specifically, because obviously they wanted to keep him. They didn't want to get rid of him the first time. You got them three safeties right there. We still have Jimmy Ward on this roster for depth issues. And look, whatever happens to him, who knows? But as of right now, that man is still on the roster. Come on, man. The safety group, along with the corners you're talking about,
Mhm.
it's just going to be a whole bunch of scariness for the opposing offenses that have to go up against them.
And that's why we feel confident. Like, we're not just saying this just to get the clicks, to get the views. Last year, this Houston Texans secondary was elite. Jared Goff was picked off 5 times. Justin Herbert was picked off 4. Tua, 3. Jordan Love, 3. Josh Allen had one of the worst quarterback ratings in NFL history against this Houston Texans defense. So I'm feeling very confident. If healthy, this entire defense, you've heard me say it. Well, not heard me say it, but one of the best defenses in Houston Texans history, man. Because when I look at it from top to bottom, I go look at the linebacking core. And earlier at work today, I was watching the Iron Sharpens Iron episodes, and the one with Aziz Al Shire came on. And I gotta say, I am excited for year 2 from Aziz. His first year in Houston, he got the captain's patch for a reason. We know what happened to during the Trevor Lawrence game. After that, you saw kind of the city unite behind Aziz Al Shire. And then when he came back, he played like his hair was on fire. You look at that game against the Los Angeles Chargers, just blows up J.K. Dobbins, and then D'Amico Ryans immediately on the sideline. That's how you play linebacker. Uh, Excited for Aziz, man, and then also Henry Tua. We don't know what year 3 is gonna look like for him, but if it's another jump, damn, bro, we got a nice 1-2 punch, and then we haven't even talked about Christian Harris, EJ Speed.
Yeah, the linebacker group I'm excited for. In regards to the secondary, I will say Jonathan Alexander had answered, because I did ask him the question, because it just seemed like the NFL Twitter was going on nuts with
Mm-hmm.
the addition of Jair Alexander to the Ravens, and they were saying that's the best secondary in football with Marlon Humphrey, Nate Wiggins, Jair Alexander. You got Malaki Starks there as well too. Kyle Hamilton is there, so they are definitely excited, and for good reason,
Mm-hmm.
for their secondary. But Jonathan Alexander is still riding with the Houston Texans as the team to be the best secondary in the NFL. You mentioned how the linebackers attack. The secondary is not afraid to attack either.
They're not.
And that is what's very helpful for D'Amico Ryan specifically. Derek Stingley has improved as a tackler. Jalen Petrie is a damn good tackling machine. Kamari Lassiter ain't afraid of nobody. We saw him take down Derrick Henry almost for a safety. The
Mm-hmm.
the only highlight of the game, again, in the Beyonce game with the Baltimore Ravens. And you drafted Jalen Smith from USC, a guy that is also known for his big hitting ability. Jimmy Ward, as you know, is a big hitter. CJ Gardner Johnson is a big time hitter as well too. You got guys that they have no problem in going down in the box, getting dirty, shedding a blocker, and making the tackle. This secondary group helps D'Amico Ryans play 5 corners,
Mm-hmm.
5 DBs at a time, because he is not worried about somebody running the football against you, because these guys, man, they're just cut from a different side of the cloth, man. I mean, when you got Kamari Lassiter and Kalen Bullock together listening to NBA Youngboy, I mean, come on, man. They're wired a little differently, man. And they definitely got that crash out, the crash out
They
crew.
do. Because Kamari's always, remember, before every game, Kamari Lassiter, he posts a picture of black Air Forces. And if anyone who knows, black Air Forces, the meme going on is you only put them on when you're about to do something illegal. You only put them on when it's demon time. And what was also funny was in that Titus Howard gym photo with
Who
everyone in
who
there.
wearing them?
You saw, who was it, Kamari Lassiter with the, with the hood over his head. Like,
Yes,
I
Anakin
also like that they're
Skywalker ish.
buying into it. And it's one thing to be labeled as a, as a crash out defense, but then to fully embody it, um, I think we're going to see that this year in the secondary, especially with the addition of CJ Gardner Johnson. I mean, what was the first thing he said? Houston, you got a problem. Like, dude,
Yeah,
this is going
I
to be
mean,
nasty.
yeah, I mean, one of his quotes was talking about putting a bowl on the ring,
Mm.
and that's just that gets you hyped because when have you made a free agent acquisition, a trade in Houston Texans history where you were like, oh, okay, this is a different kind of vibe coming from this person, like
Ed Reed
the-
gave you that vibe for a couple months.
for sure. I'll tell you a who specifically. I remember that random day when the Houston Texans signed Tyrann Matthew.
I know where I
And
was.
yeah. And I was at home watching NFL Network when the news broke.
Mm.
And I was like, I remember JJ Watt tweeted like
The honey
wanting
pot.
Tyron.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Yeah, he
wanted
tweeted the
him.
honey pots in a row, and boom.
Yeah. And that kind of because Tyrann Matthew speaks a big game,
Hmm.
you know. And oh, there goes Ruben. And he speaks a big game. Oh, there you go. And I don't know, you left for some reason. It looked
The
like
camera, it switches
oh, okay.
cameras sometimes.
Yeah, no, he left. He left. You left. No, Tyrann Matthew did leave, but he was only here for 1 year. He was paired with Justin Reed, and I want to say Kareem Jackson was still there at the time
Mhm.
as well. But he talked a big game, and I haven't. I felt like, man, this team might do something with Tyrann Matthew here now. Did he have his greatest year here? No, not really. He was all right, but I'm hoping CJ Gardner Johnson, who's still in his prime, and he talking about that he still got 3 more Super Bowls in him. And buddy, buddy, you get me excited hearing that. You get the whole city excited hearing that because you know how it is, man. JJ Watt said it. We all say it, but we don't need JJ's quote to manufacture this. The city of Houston would go absolutely nuts for just the AFC Conference Championship appearance.
Mhm.
Not only can you imagine what a Super Bowl win would do here in the city of Houston, football is everything here.
Yeah, there's a saying in Texas, jail and football, God, jail and football are three of the staples of Houston. I'm not Houston, I'm sorry, but Texas. You go
Yeah.
back, you look at Friday Night Lights, Texas forever. Football in Texas, Harley, is definitely different. And why it also means a little different coming from CJ Gardner Johnson. He just came back from sizing his ring a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
He won a Super Bowl with the Philadelphia Eagles. So if there's anyone who knows what it takes, to not only get there, but win the damn thing, it's CJ Gardner Johnson. And this is that veteran leadership role that you needed because you have core players on offense and defense. Now you just need that veteran, that seasoning. Let me show you how to get this done. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think everyone should be excited about the growth of this secondary, the growth of this defense. I think I just made up a nickname, the Crash Out Crew. Kind of.
You see, I've seen the crash out, not crash out crew. I've seen Texas hold them. I don't,
I'm not a big fan of that
but it works. That's the thing. Like,
one. I guess.
I'm not a
Yes.
fan, but it
That's like
works.
an ESPN graphic.
That's exactly why I think it has a good chance of catching on. Um, okay, but what was your? Oh, you said the crash out crew.
Crash Out Crew. I mean, if you were trying to think of a nickname for this, the whole secondary, it's gonna be tough.
Remember the Rock Band boys?
I try not to.
Shout out to Jacob Martin and Whitney Merciless.
I hate that. I hate the Rock Boys.
You hated the rock and roll
I
celebration?
hated it. It was cheesy. It was corny. It was like, oh God, guys, stop. Whitney was old.
Yep.
Whitney was done with, man. You had Jacob Martin being hyped up by our own Jordan Pun as the next big thing. Those were dark times
Those were
for the Houston Texans. Those were dark times. If you celebrated with the Rock Boys, oh man, I can't say what you are on
if
here.
you celebrated with the Rock Boys, we know you were here during the trenches.
For sure. Okay, there we go. That's a
Yeah,
better way.
like if
Because I
okay,
was gonna say something dumb.
like if you tell me, give me one of your Texans that if you tell me like their name, I'll be like, all right, you know ball. You hit me with a Danny Amendola, wow. You hit me with a Rex Burkhead, wow. You hit me with a Tyrod Taylor, dear God.
Yeah, no, man. I would understand if somebody decided to skip a few Sundays during those years. I could understand. I could understand. Even though I watched every damn game there
Every
was,
game. Dude,
I could
that was when
understand.
training camp. I mean, you could show up late and still get yourself a good seat.
Oh man, I used to. I for sure used to.
Yeah, I used to be able to save like 4 rows. Like this is us, baby. This is us, guys.
Yeah, this whole bleacher. I reserved it, guys.
And now it's like if you don't get there,
Packed.
yes, you're
We're
out of
about a
luck.
month away from training camp too.
We are a month away. I mean, have we seen the official dates besides the ones
No,
announced by Aaron Wilson?
I know that usually they're released by now, so kind of wondering if the Texans are trying to figure out, what
The
days,
schedule.
yeah, scheduling and everything. So, yeah, I hope it doesn't rain.
What are your favorite parts about training camp?
My favorite part about training camp, besides baking in the heat like a brisket on a smoker for hours, it feels like, and it's only 2 hours, but it definitely feels like you're waiting in line for 6. Besides that, I do like that thrill though. I do love
Mhm.
the waking up at 4:30 in the morning, or for me 4 in the morning, and getting ready, take a quick little shower, get ready, and leaving the crib at 4:30, and then heading over there right at 5, or sometimes 4:50 or so, right when they're not supposed to open the gates, but they do,
Mm.
and love it when an employee does that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you know what? I'm for the culture.
I
Go
love it.
ahead, guys. And I'm there from 5 a.m. Like I love that. I love posting the picture of 5 a.m. There I am, and
Mhm.
everyone's like, "Look at
You're
this nut
there. Yeah,
job."
they're like, "You're there already?"
Yeah, like look at this nut job. Look at this dude, this guy right here. And I love it. I love it.
It's fun. It is like football was back. Of course,
Mm,
you get to see the boys out there right in front of you, but I mean, even the weeks leading up when you have to get the training camp tickets and you have to race online and you only have a limited amount. And why me and Harley always get there around? Well, Harley gets there around 5.
yeah.
I get there around 5:45, 6.
Hmm.
Um, it gets packed, ladies and gentlemen. Believe it or not, it gets
It
packed.
does.
Sometimes the line wraps around the like the length of the field basically. And
It's
then they let you go into the other gate where you get into another line.
mm,
I remember the first training camp under head coach D'Amico Ryans, and we sang him happy birthday. That right
mm,
there for me, Harley told us that this was different because D'Amico didn't even know that was going to happen. You saw him stop and you saw him like just wow, like I made it. And then you saw CJ walking down, and then you saw
I was
Will.
excited.
It was exciting. It's like you see the future. But now, 2 years, 3 years in, you're like, all right, man, this is the future. We're here. It's now. Now we got to see, can this team get us going? Because as it's year 3, Harley, like we mentioned towards the end of last episode, the honeymoon's over.
Yes.
So let me knock on wood for this question.
Oh boy.
Double digit wins,
Okay.
AFC South title,
Okay.
wild card playoff win,
Okay.
division loss. That's
Sounds like the
3
last 2 years.
years. That sounds like the entire
True.
Houston Texans story. And it's now year 3 of D'Amico Ryans and Nick Casario. One of them, their seat's gonna get a little warm if you don't make it to the AFC championships. So for me, dude, I think it's AFC championship or bust.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I can. Um, and I'll say this: it felt very visible last year with the Texans when they lost to the Chiefs in the divisional round. There were some uncharacteristic reactions from not just D'Amico but the players as
Yeah.
well.
Oh, they were angry that the refs.
They were very upset. Like Will Anderson put it out there about the referees. D'Amico Ryans implied it for sure, but D'Amico looked visibly just upset with the ending of that season, and it makes me believe that they're very upset with the last 2 years. D'Amico knows more than anybody here
Mm-hmm.
what it's like to be so close and have the high expectations and fail. D'Amico was here when you clinched your division and you were there in the divisional round. And D'Amico knows not only that year, but years prior to it being like a laughing stock of the NFL, losing over and over. And even D'Amico going to the Philadelphia Eagles, not finding a lot of success there. Goes to the San Francisco 49ers. They go to a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They don't win it. They go to another. They don't win it. Conference championship games, losing it. D'Amico has not found the ultimate success yet,
Mm-hmm.
which is a Super Bowl accomplishment. You know that is just something that is
In the
deep
back of his
down
mind, yeah.
he's trying to find, he's trying to tap into, and he's trying to get. And of course every team in the NFL, is looking for it too. But there was just something very uncharacteristic about that team after they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm used to there are Texans after they take a loss, and especially a hard one, where it's like, well, we had a good year, we did this, we did that. They list the accomplishments of what they did in the season, and they always say we had a good year. And it didn't feel that way when D'Amico and the rest of the guys talked, because they knew the expectations were higher, and they know that what this city is yearning for is a Super Bowl contender. What this city needs is D'Amico Ryans and the Houston Texans to take that next step. And so, in order to take that next step, you go and trade for a CJ Gardner Johnson. You try to change the mentality of your offensive line with Laramie Tunsil being traded away, regardless of how we feel about the talent overall. I will say Jonathan Alexander says, and again, a guy that covers the Houston Texans, says he feels pretty good about the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he said now the talent is always going to be an issue, but he said he felt confident about what Jake Andrews has looked like at center. He said one thing in particular was not just Titus Howard being solid, Lincoln Tomlinson being very solid for them, actually. And Cam Robinson, as he said, looks okay. He was about average to below average last year, but he said he looks okay here. His biggest one that he worried about was the right tackle position and Blake Fisher. Now, you can take it either which way because
Mm.
he struggles. And he struggled against, unfortunately, Will Anderson, which is you can take it on both ends. You're looking at both ends of the spectrum here because you're like, okay, well, yeah, Blake Fisher is struggling against Will Anderson. I mean, it's Will Anderson, but you also would like Blake Fisher to find some success at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day because there's going to be better defensive lines out there across the NFL, especially when you face the good teams in the playoffs. So Jonathan Alexander seemed to have a slight concern with the right tackle position. He's not sure if Ariante Ursary can be the guy that solves it, or is better than Blake Fisher. He never said that,
Mm-hmm.
but he did like what Ursary has been doing at camp, in comparison to what maybe we've seen from Blake Fisher. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
I think that's interesting because Blake Fisher was a second round pick last year. Ariante Arisui, second round pick this year. Every position should be up for fight. And as much as I said, I think, Blake Fisher is one of your, starting right tackles. We've always said, I mean, if you lose the job, you lose the job. When it comes to protecting CJ Stroud, I don't care who it is. Put the best five out there. But I think that now this is going to be a training camp battle that I'm going to watch. Because I'm not going to pay attention to the left side. I know it's Cam Robinson. But
Mhm.
after what you just said, whenever Ariante goes out there, I'm gonna have to pay attention because if we're already talking like this right before training camp, the hint of a training camp battle is in the air. You're gonna have to start counting wins and losses, and those one-on-one reps, they're gonna tell you a lot. If Ariante Urswick goes out there and looks better, against Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter, I mean, you have to give him the nod, right?
I mean, you would have to. That's yeah. I mean, it's an open competition, and the Texans probably aren't afraid of it either. Because look at Drew Scruggs, a guy you traded up for, and hey, I will deal with that situation
If Urswick
later.
hits,
I will deal with Scruggs a lot later. We got bigger fish to fry when it comes to this offensive line. We're supposed to just figure out because we still don't know who the five are. Like we have guesses, obviously.
mhm.
We're gonna predict them and we think we know who the five are, but we still don't really know. If Ursary is performing better than Blake Fisher and he's holding his own against Will Anderson. So and by the way, Jonathan Alexander could not stop talking about Will Anderson. He has some his hot take is that he is a top two finalist for the Defense Player of the Year award, which is that's pretty bold to say,
Ju-
considering this is
just think if he's having that type of year, what year is his partner in
defense.
crime having? What year is Daniil Hunter having?
He's at least getting 12 sacks.
17. Oh, dude, what if it's 15-15? Oh, my.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 30 between
Between
both of
two
them.
guys?
Oh my goodness. And that's not considering the rest of the D line, as well as a linebacker here or there and a secondary member here and there. My goodness. But yeah, I will say Jonathan Alexander could not stop talking about Will Anderson. Now again, we don't know again, it's Will Anderson going up against Blake Fisher. Will is that dude. He is
Hmm.
an absolute unit. We all know this. But I would like to hear maybe some more positive around Blake Fisher in terms of, oh, okay, yeah, he had Will Anderson on this rep. Like I want more of a battle where, as everyone else is kind of describing it, it feels very one sided.
Mm, that's fair. We are about officially 30 days away from the players reporting to NRG. Harley, let the people know where they can find you and all your work.
You can find me at the lead underscore HOU anywhere on social media TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, as well as YouTube. Again, if y'all like what y'all heard from some of the stuff I said with Jonathan Alexander, you can find that live stream on my YouTube channel. Underneath the live stream tab, just go in there and while you're at it, hit that subscribe button for
Mm.
doing me a favor. I'll do you a favor, and we'll try to drop as much content as possible.
Yes. And for more Houston Texans content, you guys know what to do. Just come back on Monday and we'll discuss whatever the hell happened between the weekend with this Houston Texans team. Do us all a favor. Have a real blessed rest of your weekend.